We're in day 31 of our 40-day fast, and today I've been trying to prepare for Sunday's sermon. Sunday, I'll be preaching from Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 12, where verse 1 says, "Judge not that you be not judged," and verse 12 says, treat people like you want to be treated. And so in light of the national attention and the national spotlight that has been shown on the events in Sanford, Florida, and the tragic killing of the young man Trayvon Martin, I think it's a good time for us to think through some things, particularly God's perspective on the value of all life. Obviously, part of my argument is that discussions about the sanctity of life should not end when the person is born. That sanctity of life, if it has any meaning, ought to have a very poignant meaning in this particular incident as we think through it from a gospel perspective. One of the things I've been thinking about is Mark chapter 8, verse 36, where Jesus says, what would it profit a man to gain the whole world and then forfeit his soul? So from the kingdom's perspective, from the king's perspective, one life is worth more than all the assets of the world. Therefore, neither you nor I have the right to discount the value of someone's life because they don't look like us, because they don't speak our language, because they're not part of our class or our group. They're those people. You remember Jonah had to work through some issues as it relates to thinking about that. And even in that very short book, God tells Jonah there's 120,000 people in the city of Nineveh who don't know their right hand from their left hand, should not have compassion on them. So the idea, again, throughout the Bible is that human life is valuable. And so we don't want to get caught up in the political wranglings of this situation, because very often when an African-American male is killed in some kind of tragic situation, or not even killed, when an African-American male is the sort of centerpiece of public dialogue, it becomes more of a Rorschach test. It really starts morphing into something other than what the event is about, and more into our own personal perspectives on what's going on. So I want to challenge you to avoid that and to let's think through this thing biblically. All life is valuable, and this young man's life fits into that category. In particular, in this particular case, he was doing nothing wrong, just trying to get home. And so we want to express our moral outrage in ways that are constructive and ways that are beneficial. So here in Rockford, on Sunday at 3 p.m., there's going to be a peaceful walk starting at City Hall. And I want to invite you to come. I'll be there. And it's a way for us to start and continue a dialogue that needs to take place as it relates to just our ongoing development as disciples of Jesus Christ on these issues of race, class, and the value of life. Jesus says very simply, treat people the way you want to be treated. So there ought to be one standard. There's a way that all of us can relate to the parents of Trayvon Martin and what you would want if your son had been shot down by someone who had followed him and confronted him. If you would want an investigation, then surely you can understand why we as a nation need to stand up and say that what has taken place so far is unacceptable, and we need to move forward with great dispatch in terms of a very thorough investigation. But it's more to it than the whole Trayvon Martin situation. The real thing I want to leave with you today, and the real thing that we want to concentrate on, even in worship this Sunday, is that all life is valuable. And so that means the immigrants from Vietnam who have recently come here, or Myanmar that have recently come here to the city of Rockford. That means the people who speak languages that you don't understand at the local corner store or where you do your banking. That means that when we look at media images that denigrate and discount people of other nationalities, we need to be as outraged as if it was our nationality, as if it was our race, as if it was our particular class. Again, the idea is to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and even as a society, we need to treat people like we want to be treated. I hope this makes sense, and I invite you to pray with me and pray for all pastors this weekend as we preach the gospel and apply it to current situations. And again, for those of you in Rockford, why don't you join us at 3 o'clock on Sunday over at City Hall, and let's dialogue and let's see if we can't work this thing out. God bless you and have a great day.